a company that might have benefited by utilizing your free trade warehousing zones?
Our objective is to deliver benefit to our customers. So every shipment that we deliver comes with doing some benefit to our customers. That's how they use us.
The services that you're offering form a major part of it, but does the scope also really matter?
We take physical handover of the goods at the arrival of the port. From there on, our team escorts and takes the goods to our facilities through a bonded movement.
There is no definitive answer from their end until certain days have gone by. So, is there a solution for that as well?
We have a service package, and that is a standard benchmark of OSV. We call it mastered by OSV. It's called PLC X7.
So, supposedly, if I want to bring in my cargo to your warehouse, how quickly can I do that?
We just need you to sign an agreement with us. It takes us a day's time to do all the KYC verifications and generate a client code for you, and you are welcome to bring in the cargoes from the next day.
Top 5 advantages that a free trade warehousing zone serves to a liquor sector.
Duty deferment is one big time benefit, and long-term storage, because
What are the major advantages of operating a foreign company from a free trade zone rather than setting up in India?
the entire transaction, payments, ownership and everything will still happen from their parent company in the origin country.
Hello everyone, my name is Cherian and we have gathered here today to talk about a very special topic, a very interesting one I would say, and we do have a very special guest with us today. I would like to introduce Mr. Takkar, the Growth Director of OSV FTWZ, and he would be helping us understand all about free trade warehousing zones. Is it a free port? Is it a free zone? Is it an SEZ? What exactly it is? So, without wasting any further time, let's just introduce our special guest and get on with it. Hello, Mr. Harsh. How are you?
Hi Benny, I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. What exactly is a free trade warehousing zone?
So it is a unique concept launched by the Ministry of Commerce. Unique for India, but a very common concept for the world. There are countries known for free trade warehousing zones. Dubai is the most widely known example. So these are duty tax-free zones established for enabling global trade, for setting up India as the hub of warehousing for international companies, to act as gateways for bringing in goods in and out of India. So these are duty tax-free zones, as I said before, and both Indian and foreign companies can use this for at the time of imports or exports to India for storing their products duty-free starting from a single day to a very long period of time, as long as 5 years, and release them in India on need basis, on a just-in-time basis. They could always supply it to their buyers on desired quantities. It helps them manage their supply chain better, bring in more transparency and more control over the supply chain, and have the goods readily available for their buyers right next doors without having to invest heavily over the duties and taxes upfrontly on the products.
Okay. I would like to take a step back here and first understand what are the major challenges that are being faced by importers or exporters or traders that gave rise to the concept of an FTWZ. Why did it come into play?
So, apart from the challenges, which I will come to later, the need of FTWZ arises in order to compete with the global scenarios and the worldwide logistics and supply chain scenarios. There are countries which have free trade zones, and India was missing out on this for a very long time. And now that it's finally here, and it's been here since a while, but it has caught up pace. OSV we had formed to specialize in this sector and further develop specialized facilities and services specifically in the FTWZ trade, and therefore we have managed to capture all major ports and locations in India, and we have facilities in Delhi, NCR, Mumbai and Chennai. So it was designed specifically to compete with the international markets, right? And in the pursuit of it, it has also helped to ease out imports in a great manner and address many challenges in the regular import and export world. One of the key challenges, so let's break it into two parts, from an Indian consumer's perspective and from a foreign supplier's perspective. Firstly, from the foreign supplier's perspective, they had no opportunity to actually have their goods readily available over here, other than to have a company set up altogether, get into the entire set of compliances, and create a complete establishment for operating out of India and having the goods available for their buyers. Or the second alternate was that they would have to appoint a distributor or an importer on their behalf over here, who would be entitled to invest the money on their behalf uh, on the purchase of the products. And not just that, even on the duties and the taxes upfrontly, without any guarantee or commitment of the goods being able to be sold. So that had prohibited a lot of foreign companies to enter into Indian markets. So with FTWZs now, the foreign companies has this leverage, opportunity, and advantage to have their goods readily available over here. It is practically the best of both worlds. They don't have to, appoint a third party for it. The goods always remain in their ownership, and they are available right here in India at the port nearest to their consumers. Maybe one or maybe all, right? So they now have the opportunity to have the goods readily available for their buyers on a just-in-time basis, as and how when they need it. The buyers do not have to wait for the entire chain of logistics to come into play, for goods to to book orders, for the goods to move from the origin, take anywhere between 15 to 45 days or maybe 60 at times, depending upon where is it coming from. They don't have to wait all this while for bringing in the product, and then do the custom clearances, have various set of product licenses that may apply on their product. And custom clearances is a tedious project, and there are a lot of compliances to fulfill over there. So sometimes, it takes more than expected time or more than available time, and it results in costing heavily for the importers, and those are uncertain charges and is only a cause of dispute between the buyers and suppliers. So now with FTWZs, the products are right here. They are in the ownership of the foreign supplier, and they are free to supply it to their existing buyers on a need basis, on a need in time basis, on a need in quantity basis. So they are free to supply it to them. Moreover, they are free to explore newer buyers. They can, instead of waiting for buyers to order in bulk, they can always, send out samples, send out smaller orders for their market development, which is the first step to, onboard any buyer for them. So they're free to send smaller quantities to their buyers, and the goods that's just helps. It just helps them to develop India as a market. For the Indian buyers, if we talk about, they also did not know any other way than importing the products, paying duties and taxes upfront, for the products they will not use overnight. They would use their expensive spaces in their factories, in their warehouses, rent out massive warehouses for themselves. Not just paying the rent of the warehouses, the entire upkeep, maintenance, and having the show running for their stocks, security, safety, X number of things, right? So they felt it obvious to do that, and paying the cost of the goods upfrontly, paying the taxes upfrontly, and all just builds up in the cost of their supply chain and their product ultimately. With FTWZs in place, it helps them optimize in a great way. They are free to import the product and import it at one of our locations instead of any other port, any regular port. They are free to bring it at our zone. That not just gives them an advantage over their cash flows, right? Since they don't pay duties and taxes upfront, and in most cases we consider it as an industrial average about 30%. It is starting from 30, and it goes as high as 200% as well in some cases, right? So they would import the product and not pay that amount of money upfrontly, right, without actually having the need of the goods readily available. So they save on that money in terms of cash flows as and when they need, as and when they have their buyers ready, as and when their production demands. They clear only that amount of products and then they take it to their facilities, right? So they save huge. They are not just saving on expensive land, which is actually of more productive use in their production, in their other better uses. Even as simple as just renting it out to someone else, because that's ultimately revenue. It's not just easy. I mean, they practically do not have to do anything, when they are to hold inventory in a free trade zone. And I would, put it in a better words, they are not actually operating out of a free trade zone. India has actually gone a step further versus the world in creating the FTWZ policy and having these zones set up through companies like ours, because the foreign companies don't actually need to establish any entity or have a tax number or have a bank account to have their inventory held at a free trade zone. It is turnkey for them. They sign up with OSV, FTWZs. We just require their KYCs. We do an agreement, and we of course do the entire verification process. But and they're good to go. Once we have generated a client code for them, they're good to go. We're free to send their inventory and hold it with us. Contrary to how the world operates, it requires, even though to operate out of a free trade zone, they have to set up an entire entity over there.
That's
so
true.
The benefits are far more and great of Indian FTWZs.
Wow, that's a lot save on the compliances front, I would say.
Yeah.
Another question that comes on to my mind is, you said SEZs, you mentioned SEZs in your earlier explanation. So is there a difference between an SEZ and an FTWZ, or are they one and the same thing?
So SEZs and FTWZs are totally different, while they fall under the same policy, but the applications of it are entirely different. SEZs are for manufacturing, and only for manufacturing, and FTWZs are only for trading and warehousing. Trading for our customers, we as an FTWZ service provider and FTWZ company do not do trading, nor are we permitted to do so. We provide the platform and the facility. Our customers are entitled to do trading through our facilities and warehouse their products.
Okay. Now, earlier you also mentioned that it can help importers save on costs as well. So, as per my understanding, and I'm pretty sure the viewers would agree with me, whenever you are bringing the goods into an Indian territory, you end up paying the duty anyways. So, how is that a cost saving for us?
So, well, if you're selling the products in India, this is not a get away with the duty scheme, right? So, when you're selling the products in India, you are to pay what you're supposed to pay, right? And you have to comply fully with the norms of the Indian standards, which includes compliances, which includes duty payments, and which includes taxes. But with FTWZ, you are entitled to do that only if you are selling the goods in India. Using an FTWZ opens you a complete market of re-exports. You could repackage, relabel, rebrand the product at an FTWZ and export it to any country for that matter, right? And in such a case, you don't pay duties in India. Secondly, you're deferring the duty. I'm not saying even when you're wanting to sell it in India, you are deferring the duty. You're not paying the duties upfront for the products that you're not using upfront, right? So, just to give you an example, for example, if a product is of 100 rupees and there is a 50% duty plus GST applicable on it, so that would make it 50 rupees. So you're not paying 150 rupees upfront, right? If you're not using, you are just paying 100 rupees for the value of the product and storing it with us. As and how you are selling, for example, you sell inventory worth 10 rupees in this case. So you're just paying duties and taxes of 10 against the 10 rupees sale. That's about it. So you are optimizing your cash flows. You are deferring the duty that you don't require to necessarily pay upfront, and you are doing it anyways. You are anyways importing from a regular port. You are anyways storing the product. So there is always a cost associated with that. Why not do it here without payment of duty?
So, when I think about warehousing options in India, the most common warehousing option that comes to mind is a custom bonded warehouse. And in case of a custom bonded warehouse as well, whenever you're bringing the goods inside, you don't need to pay the duties upfront. Is that correct? And how is an FTWZ different from a custom bonded warehouse? What are the benefits attached to an FTWZ?
Well, that is an FAQ for us, and if you'd ask our sales team, they would have a 13-page document made on that. But for the sake of this discussion, let me tell you about it. So, again, you are absolutely right over there when you said the duties are not payable upfront in a custom bonded warehouse too, but it has its own limitations. In a custom bonded warehouse, you can store the products duty-free for a period of initially up to 3 months only, 90 days, right? And thereafter, you're supposed to pay interest on the duties applicable, which I think as of now is in the tune of 15% odd, still capping it to 12 months, right? 12 months is still a lot of time, but the compliances that come with it, right? It is totally different and far more than what an FTWZ requires. You have to submit a triple duty bond, a solvency certificate, and several other things. And that is not a business model. It's a custom bonded warehouse is not a supply chain model, and they are also designed like that, right? So it is supposed to be used only in case of exigencies, right? And for the exigency scenarios, the documentation requirements and everything is also planned accordingly. The time is given accordingly. The documentations are intensive. You need to have a lot of supporting and bank guarantees to be able to use a custom bonded warehouse generally. Whereas in an FTWZ, and one key difference between the both is custom bonded is only for imported cargo, whatever is coming from outside India. Domestic cargoes cannot go to a custom bonded warehouse. In addition to that, foreign companies cannot store in a custom bonded warehouse, right? And as I said, you cannot split shipments or you cannot club shipments. It is only an emergency route, and one should only do it in case of emergencies. Free trade zone, on the other hand, is a supply chain model. You include it as a part of your supply chain. This is how your supply chain will work and should work and will function. And it comes with an objective and idea to smoothen it. You could store goods for a very long time, 5 years, as we spoke about. You don't need any documentation on a shipment basis. What you just need to is, be a customer of an FTWZ and free to bring products, right? So no questions asked. You want to supply in India, go ahead to whatever the quantity you want to supply. You can supply. You want to export it, you can export it. You want to bring in your customers, have a look, test the product. All of those possibilities. It is just like your warehouse in a foreign land, right? So it gives you the entire set of flexibility. The infrastructure is massive. The quality and the systems are state of the art that we maintain at our facilities, and it is an international concept, and it is designed and made also as per international standards. That's something that's not very common in custom bonded warehouses.
Okay.
So one of the other key differences of a custom bonded warehouse and a free trade zone is that in a free trade zone, you are free to do repackaging, relabeling, kitting, combining, a lot of value added services, and it is no questions asked. It comes as an inherent feature of an FTWZ. You could do QC, you could rebrand the product, you could import bulk packings and shift it into a smaller packaging units. So all of those come as a feature of a free trade zone, which are otherwise not possible at a custom bonded warehouse, and there are many more differences like that.
So you mentioned something about rebranding, and does that mean that a free trade warehousing zone can be utilized for value-added services as well? If so, what is the scope of the services that can be done inside the zone?
So that is actually one of the very key features and the differentiating factor of a free trade zone. Value-added services are permitted, and that includes anything and everything other than manufacturing. Anything that does not change the classification of the product. I mean, you cannot bring a motherboard and a screen and make it into a computer, of course. But anything that does not change the classification of the product is permitted. It includes repackaging, changing the carton boxes and repackaging it all together. You brought a generic product, you want to label it with your brand name, you could do that. You could kit multiple shipments together. You could bring a sofa, table, and a chair and put it into one box and make a one-room set and export it as a single consignment. That is possible. Rather, we have customers who do that. You could import bulk packaging. We have a lot of customers in cosmetic sector that import goods in a bulkier packing and make it into a smaller packages. Goes for cosmetics, food, beverages, alcohol, most of these sectors. So we have a lot of activities like that going on. Bulk packaging, you could import it in bulk packaging, saves hugely on logistics. In an FTWZ, they procure some packaging material from India, China, and elsewhere. We do the packaging over here for them and in their brand name, and it can be sold in India and internationally wherever they want. So proud to say that we have successfully totally revolutionized the supply chain model of a lot of brands and some very good names in the industry.
So would you say that a free trade warehousing zone is a specified solution for specific industries?
No, it is a solution open for all industries. Yes, it is more suitable for a certain sectors and certain industries where I would say which are very time sensitive, which are which require a lot of reliability, which have high duties, of course, which are bulkier in quantities, and which are international businesses and distribution businesses. So it works greatly for them. But we too get amazed. Ever you get a chance to visit our facilities, you'd see anything and everything. I'd say pinned to an aircraft at our facility. And literally pinned to an aircraft. So from particles of this size to as good as aircraft engines, we have managed to warehouse.
While our team was conducting their research, they found out certain myths around the free trade warehousing zones. So I would just quickly like to bring those up and get an opinion from you. Are they really a myth or are they the actual truth?
Happy to break it to you.
So the first myth being a free trade warehousing zone is only for large corporations.
It's a myth. Uh, Free trade zone, is for every SME and every large corporation. We have customers from all segments. Customers who store just merely one pallet, and from customers who depend on us for an entire supply chain and their entire production. So it's open for all.
Myth number two being a company that is registered inside a free trade zone does not have to pay tax at all.
See, tax is a very wider term. They don't have to pay duties and taxes upfront. Duties and GST, I would say, at the time, they don't have to pay it upfront till the time their course of the product is decided. If they're selling in India, they have to comply fully with as per the Indian norms. Till the time they are in an FTWZ, they are treated as they are in foreign land. Right? If they are exporting, again, no duties and GST applicable in India. Foreign company touching down goods here and then re-exporting elsewhere, they don't have any obligations in India. It is treated as their goods never came to India. But yeah, to make it clear, for when you are selling the goods in India, if you are selling the goods in India, you have to comply with Indian taxations and norms and duties and compliances.
Myth number three FTWZs are only limited to specific locations such as the big cities or the metropolitan cities.
Well, I can tell about myself. We are at 4 places and soon to be 5. We are in Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Chennai, and Mundra.
That's nice. Yeah.
So these are massive infrastructures and a very state-of-the-art infrastructure. So it is just makes more viable business sense to have it set up at locations which have heavier imports or heavier imports and exports. So yes, the metro cities have more density of imports and exports. So thus, it just makes more business sense to have it set up over there.
So let's shift the line of questioning and let's talk a bit about you and OSV. So how did OSV start? How was the idea brought into life?
Well, Free Trade Zone has been our dream project, and OSV OSV is part of the group company, and it was formed within. I mean, we had traveled across the world. We are into logistics and warehousing, since ages, and understanding the global scenario and concept. So this has been our fascination and a dream project to have an FTWZ facility in India and have a multi-product facility in India that acts as a hub, as a port, and as a mega structure for logistics, for facilitating logistics trade and enhancing India as a market and exposing India as a market for foreign customers. So we had a long pursuit for getting our licenses in place for the setup of it, and once we got it for one location, there was no looking back. So we started with our Delhi NCR facility first, expanded to Mumbai, then Chennai, and then Mundra lately, and now we are setting up our 5th location. The location is undisclosed, but yes, it will be live by in a couple of months in the next quarter. So grateful and thankful to our clients who have entrusted us with very high value of their cargoes and have always been showering us with more shipments and their love and appreciation that keeps us going. And we are continuously expanding at each of our places. So